Hey guys, this is Nian, and I am bringing you game number 4 of the TaeJa vs 4GG series. This is from the semi-finals of the ASUS Republic of Gamers tournament, and not actually the grand finals of the DreamHack Valencia ASO Open, I think it's pronounced. But before we get into talking about that, I just want to point out that we are on TSL for ESV Ohana, and in the bottom position is Millennium's 4GG, and up in the top corner it is going to be Liquid's very own TaeJa. But back to the DreamHack ASO Open, that was this past weekend. It was pretty epic, a pretty good standard of games coming out, and the finals was actually TaeJa versus 4GG. Which was pretty epic, actually, as far as I understand. I managed to watch the first, second, and a tiny bit of the third games, but the stream that I had was a tiny bit laggy, and I wasn't able to actually get Game 4 because my stream just decided to die completely, no matter how many times I refreshed and changed the video quality. But we're not going to see a wall-off from either player here. We're going to see the barracks coming up for TaeJa, and 4GG going for a quick refinery. That's something that I've noticed out of 4GG. He does like to get an early refinery up, and now he's going for the barracks. So TaeJa going for barracks then refinery, so doing pretty much mirror builds, just the opposite way around. So TaeJa will have a tiny bit of defense up quicker in case 4GG was, say, proxy rushing, or just going to go for an all-in. But at the moment the situation does stand at 2-1 to TaeJa. 4GG needs to win this one to win, well, have a hope of winning, because this is the final game if TaeJa wins. So, I'm going to see a Marine on the way for TaeJa. It is rallied down to the front of the natural, just to make sure that nothing can come up. And the orbital command coming down for TaeJa, as well as the lone supply depot, just down there to scout against any aerial attacks, probably. But we're going to see the SCV in the mineral line for TaeJa, just delaying some mining time off that mineral patch, and the orbital command just finishing up for TaeJa, as well as factory started for both players. 4GG actually has the factory started quicker than TaeJa, and the barracks is going to float over here, so it looks as though we are going to see mech play from TaeJa, getting the double refinery, whereas 4GG possibly not going for mech. Could be going for bio with that tech lab, although he could be swapping out and going for, yes, it looks as though he is going to go for cloak banshees or ravens. No, he can't go for cloak banshees because that's starport. Factories is going to be tanks or just hellions and blue flame. So 4GG presumably going to try some harassment. That lone SCV returning with almost full health, not quite, but there's going to be a starport here. So it's going to be 1-1-1. Ooh, and that actually looks as though TaeJa's going to try and go for Reactor Hellions. So he could be seeing Blue Flame against Reactor, which could be interesting, because you'll have less of the Blue Flame, but they do more damage. So it'll be an interesting trade-off. But the starport about to finish building, and it looks as though we might actually see a Hellion drop if he starts medevac production. Which could be interesting, because, yeah, it'd be a bit weird. But DreamHack, he's now going, that presumably is going to indicate Cloak Banshees now. Now he's put the tech lab on the starport. And yes, that is a Banshee, so TaeJa is going to go dual harass by the looks of it. And there's going to be some Hellions just trying to poke in a tiny bit down here. 4GG walling off effectively. Just poke up, see what's happening. Hellion almost gets taken out, but not quite, which is important at this stage in the game. In any mirror matchup, it's always not that good to lose units this early on. Mind you, in any game, it's not that good to lose units this early on. I suppose if you Zerg, and you'll always have the slight macro drone advantage, because Zergs tend to be able to drone up quicker, but it can be a major setback if you're playing a Protoss versus Protoss. Well, if you're playing Protoss versus Protoss, any form of early unit loss is near death. unless you are exceedingly Gosu. But it looks as though TaeJa going to try to do dual prong attack with the Banshee and the Hellion. He may be able to pull this off and end it early. Brings the Banshee across to try and get it, but there's no anti-air for TaeJa. He is going to lose that Banshee, and at the moment it's proving that superior numbers is better than superior upgrades, because however TaeJa has neglected the mineral line. And how many workers are we going to lose actually? 5 workers killed for TaeJa, so that is an incredible number, possibly going to balloon to even more. And 4GG only just managed to defend it. So 10 workers killed. That is a staggering loss. However, TaeJa did lose those 5-6 Hellions, I think it was. But that's 500 minerals lost compared to 500 minerals. So they've lost an equal number of minerals, but 4GG would have lost amazing amount of mining time. But we are going to see double mech from 4GG, presumably going to try and go for the ultra hard counter. And those Hellions actually going to be moving out. Will there be an adequate defense? The SCV actually sees the blue flame. Will this wall be sufficient enough? Yes, it looks as though it will be. However, the 2 Vikings against the 1 Viking. Will that Raven decide to put down a point defense drone? And will that factory go down? All these questions and more to be answered next time. But these TaeJa's counter Hellions, they could go up into main. They try to take down that Hellion, but into the mineral line again, and this could be potentially game ending. Losing this many SCVs this early on. Tries to shelter them with some Hellions, but I think they do get taken down. 20 workers killed to 3. I think this might just be game over for 4GG at the moment, because coming back from 20 SCVs down, no matter how many mules, well actually no, you could probably make it back with mules, but you would need quite a lot of mules to reclaim the mining time of 20, and also it's 1,000 minerals, which could have been better spent, and TaeJa probably has spent on army. Because if you look at the unit composition, TaeJa's just 6 SCVs ahead, 6 Hellions ahead, and 6 Hellions behind, and has the same number of Vikings roughly. But a minor engagement here, nothing major coming out of it other than the loss of a couple of a couple of Vikings. I'm really mincing up my units today, I don't know why. But we are going to see a mass TaeJa didn't spot this mass move out. We are going to see about 12 Hellions moving across the field, all with blue flame. These Marines, I think they might just be powerless to stop this. 1 Hellion goes down for 4GG, but those trees, they're not going to survive for long. Those SCVs on the natural go down, but this could be a way back into it for 4GG. It's a case of how many SCVs does he take down, and does TaeJa pull it off the line? 4GG has actually killed more SCVs than TaeJa now. TaeJa's income has just taken a nosedive. 4GG has really decided to, well, not decided, but he really has got back into this game in a major way. And TaeJa's not able to do anything about it. At the moment, TaeJa has no income whatsoever. He has 90 minerals, but these Hellions, and there's no anti-air. These could do so much more damage, because the sheer amount of anti-air this is lacking. And even if he does get Vikings out, the Vikings for TaeJa could kill them off. I think this might actually go into base race scenario, because those Hellions are useless at the moment. I think that all that could come out of this is a base race, and it looks as though that if 4GG decides to go for the base race, it'll probably, and there's a GG from 4GG. He could have still won that, I think, because Banshees do a lot less damage than Hellions, if I recall correctly. Well, he's only got 2 of them. But damage 8 and damage 12. So Banshees do more damage, but there's fewer of them. So he could have decided to just go for the base race, and that would have probably been a pretty epic end to the game. But TaeJa takes the series 3-1, and TaeJa advances into the finals, which I've already cast. This is actually going to be my last cast from the ASUS ROG, because I have got the replay pack from DreamHack, which should be epic. A ton of epic games in there, I hope. I haven't actually opened it up yet. I wanted to get this cast before I sort of opened it up and went, look at the shiny, because then this cast would never have bbeen done. But I've been Nian, and I will see you at DreamHack.